All right, welcome into the latest edition of the Walkout presented by Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati. Paul Diener Jr. and Jay Morrison inside Paycor Stadium here on a night where the Bengals had a whiteout and they also had Joe Flacco. And that was enough for a fairy tale 33-31 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. They breathed new life into their season, Jay. What's your song for me tonight?
Yeah, I think this goes out to Joe Flacco from the fan base, from his teammates, from his coaches, from everybody. It's a simple title from the band Rise Against. It's called Savior, and the line that hits is, I just want to save you while there's still something left to save.
Plenty to save in the Bengals season after tonight. Let's hit the music.
It's the Walkout with Paul and Jay, with red-hot stories from post-game, interviews, analysis within the hour, right here at the Growler.
All right, welcome to the Walkout presented by Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati. Just an insane night. One that if you listened to us and you knew some of the trends and some of the things that you'd seen, you knew that this was a possibility. Jay and I, both of us actually predict wins for the Bengals in this game. It is now 10 in a row, Jay.
Unreal.
10 consecutive home victories in these AFC North Thursday night divisional games dating all the way back to 2015. The trend continues. Pittsburgh can't win on Thursdays. The Bengals do it again, and here they are at 3-4. We're going to cover it all for you, as much as we can. I don't know if we can cover it all. There's too much to probably get to today. That's why we have a lot of content, and we've got a week and a half to do it. You're going to hear from Zac Taylor. You're going to hear from tonight's hero, Joe Flacco. We're going to talk a little bit about just the background and what went down with tonight's Joe Flacco performance, and also all the history and the remarkable nature of what Jamar Chase did tonight. We're going to get some big picture of the season for you and the hope that was instilled back with this team after this upset victory. We'll have the Joseph Toyota drive of the game, some news on injuries, plenty of milestones and records to talk about in that section, and we'll talk about what's next for this team. Before we do that, Bengals fans, when it comes to buying a car, experience matters. Joe Flacco knows how much experience matters. It does also at Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati. Their team brings decades of knowledge, service, and trust to every customer who walks through the door. This isn't a dealership of rookies. The staff at Joseph knows their stuff. They'll walk you through your options with upfront, honest, and transparent advice. Make sure that you find the right vehicle for your lifestyle. So if you're looking for a rock-solid Camry, a versatile RAV4, a powerful Tundra, Joseph Toyota is the team with their experience. So you can work, so you can drive away to get exactly what you need. None of the games you'd find at other dealerships. And it doesn't stop after the sale. Their service department is packed with seasoned technicians who know Toyota's inside and out, so you can count on fair pricing, expert care, and peace of mind. So if you're going to get a car, you need a good car buying experience. It'll feel like having that veteran QB in your corner. Head to Joseph Toyota Cincinnati, right off Colerain Avenue, or online anytime at josephtoyota.com. Joseph Toyota, experience you can trust, honesty you can count on. Talk about experience that you can trust. What a night it was for Joe Flacco. You know, we talked about encouraging signs, Jay, from the end of the Green Bay game, but could they roll that over? It seemed like there was stuff to build on there, but could you really piece it together for a whole game? 31 of 47 for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, and now in 2 games with receivers he's never played with before, in a system he's just learning, he's not thrown a single interception. It's remarkable what he's been able to come in and do, and in 9 days, able to post 33 points on the Pittsburgh Steelers and pull off this win.
It really is unreal. And take the volume numbers out of it and think about the degree of difficulty here. You mentioned the 10-game streak. Well, they snapped a 10-game streak. The Bengals had lost 10 consecutive games when they fell behind by 10 points or more. They were down 10-0 early to the Steelers. You don't see this franchise rally against that team like that very often. And then not only do they rally from 10 down, they take 10-point leads on 2 different occasions, and then they blow that. And they're down by 1. Final drive. How many times have we talked about it where they get the ball back, final drive, you got to go down and make something happen? And a lot of times it doesn't. And it never felt like it was in doubt. We've been watching Joe Flacco for 8 quarters now, and it just felt the way that game was going that they were going to find a way, and they did. They just zipped right down the field. The big play to T. Higgins, he slides down. They burn out the clock. Just a really remarkable performance. And not just on the volume stats of points and touchdowns and yards and all that, just the way that they overcame some things in this game and fought back and got a win and saved their season.
You know, one of the most interesting things to me is we see little examples of this in certain big moments where you are reminded that Joe Flacco really did just get here, and the degree of difficulty that he's working with this. He has this deep ball down the middle to Andre Joseph, and we're going to talk a lot about what Jamar did and 23 targets and 16 receptions and all of that. But on a big third down late in the game, when they went double-double on T and Jamar, Flacco drops back and drops an absolute gorgeous dime down the field for a deep ball over the middle to Andre Joseph. Zac Taylor was like, we have jogged through that play one time. And Joe drops back, sees it, guy in his face under pressure, is able to just deliver that. I mean, the man is in his 40s. And he's just back there smoothly dropping a pass to Andre down the field. And, I mean, that's a difficult route to get to that read and that throw. You've jogged through it once. He's out here. He has a broken play. He's pulling Ryan Finley's against the Steelers, running the ball, just the lanky legs taking off. Still, I've never been more stunned in my life to see that happen. But he's taken the broken play because they were all aligned wrong, and he didn't know how to figure out. So he just ran with the ball, and he ends up running for a first down. You know, he's talking about how the plays in this call that he's hearing, Zac Taylor's reading them, and he's like, you know, it's one of my first or second time hearing them. Zach was joking about his Oklahoma accent messing him up. And he's like, yeah, and there were a bunch of times where, I just went with it. He's like, you know, what's funny is the calls where I went out there and I just kind of went with it and didn't totally know what I called. Those were the ones that got us some big hits. He's just taking all of these challenges and just unfazed by it to put up these kind of numbers against that kind of defense. The degree of difficulty here, you can't overstate it. How much that is a part of the amazing nature of what he's able to do right now.
Yeah, and he was really kind of open and honest about it in the post-game press conference where he never thought – he thought he might not ever get this feeling again. He thought that might have been it, the benching in Cleveland. And so, you know, he's just having the time of his life. He's never really had these kind of receivers to throw to, and it is crazy to think about how good they've been the last 6 quarters, where this offense could actually go once they get familiar with each other. It's not that he's only been here, what today was his 10th day in Cincinnati, and he's played 2 games already. Jamar was sick last week, and then this week you go from a Sunday to a Thursday game, and you talked about the one play to Yoshi, which, by the way, Yoshi, 2 big drops last week, another one tonight, and he still has the trust to hit him on that play for the huge conversion. But they have the time on task is so ridiculously small right now, and they're putting up that kind of production. It does make you kind of think, if this defense can just go back to the beginning of the year, if this defense can just be average, maybe this team could do something special. Defense far from average tonight.
Let's bring you some of that Joe Flacco in the post-game audio.
Listen, I love doing this. I've been doing it for such a long time. When you're out there with the guys and you're doing what you want to do and you're having success and you can look in each other's eyes and just you get that feeling, of bonding with somebody else, and just it's a lot of fun. And it's a lot more fun when that clock hits 0 and you've gotten the job done.
Before you got here, obviously you probably knew how good Jamar Chase and T. Higgins were just from when played in Cleveland and being a fan of the game, but does a game like tonight, when you see what Jamar did and then what T was able to do, did that just open your eyes? Like, these guys are even better than I thought.
Yeah, last week it opened my eyes. Just with the simple things, not the fact that they went for 800 yards, obviously, but you could see it. And then today, what I got to see was just how a defense has to treat those guys. And if you don't treat them a certain way, they can hurt you. And if you do treat them a certain way, well, maybe we have some other guys that can get the job done. So you today, I think I got to see just the problems they create in general. Last week, I said it earlier this week. Last week, we didn't do anything crazy, but you could see those guys are different, and it's pretty cool to be able to throw to them.
Tonight, he saw the problems that they create. He's learning on the fly how they're doing this. I mean, Jamar pointed out, he didn't really practice with Joe really this week. I mean, it was a short week. Everything was kind of jogged through, walked through. Obviously, he didn't the previous. Their practices are the games. And he caught 16 balls. Joe is just kind of figuring it out. And when you talk to guys, they point out the poise and just the quick distribution of getting the ball in the playmaker's hands. When you can do that, you just see the damage that they can do. But what was striking to me was just how open guys were getting, how open Jamar was able to get. And yeah, Joe said a lot of after the game, like, look, it was just easy. Like, okay, we ran a couple outs. Oh, look, they're leaving it open. I'll just throw it there. It's nothing hard. I mean, he was pointing, it didn't feel like it was anything hard. It was just a guy with 18 years experience seeing what they're giving to him. And they were giving him a lot. And they're taking a lot. And you just keep getting the ball to Jamar Chase, and it helps when everything's working like that. I do want to point out offensive line getting a lot of love in the post game. This was the most yards thrown from a clean pocket for Joe Flacco since 2018. He was clean all night long and just kind of sat back there and picked him apart. Also, the running game finally shows up. They finally are able to pop some long runs. They get some play action boots for easy yards off of that. The line playing well and Flacco distributing it quickly, kind of everything working in conjunction there is a big part of this thing as well.
Yeah, it was impressive what the line did. I mean, the running game getting Chase Brown going and the big gashes he got. And then the pass blocking too. I mean, TJ Watt got a half a sack. But last week, he had one quarterback hit for TJ Watt. Last week, Micah Parsons, no quarterback hits. It's coming together. It's not an elite line by any means, but you can see the progress there. And this was really everybody's going to focus on the passing yards and all those numbers, but way they got that running game going tonight, I think, is maybe the brightest sign for what this offense can turn into when Chase Brown's getting the ball, 9 or 10 times and topping 100 yards, things are going well.
Still hard to believe that Flacco just got here and they've been able to get him to this level. Let's hear a little bit from Zac Taylor in the postgame.
His experience. I mean, he's got 18 years of experience playing these games. I mean, we're in a short week playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that we needed to have. And he's just like, it's easy for him, and it's not because he's putting in the work. It's just he's so experienced in this situation. You gain a lot of confidence from that because he goes out there. It's not too big. I have to enunciate my formations better because some of them we're hearing them for the first time, and so I got to do a better job enunciating. I think it's my Oklahoma accent. Got him a couple times, but I thought he did a great job managing the game.
You almost hear the laughter. That happened multiple times after the game, where you hear Zac Taylor almost just kind of laughing about this. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's crazy to be this confident, I think, is the thing in a player who did just get here. I mean, you have the Bengals fans on Amazon after the game chanting, "Thank you, Cleveland," right? Like, you've got you have everything that Tomlin said this week and kind of learned. Maybe this was exactly why he wasn't super thrilled that Flacco breathed new life into this offense. He knew what could happen here, but it's just sort of, there's a lot of I don't know. We're confident in him because he's given us nothing other than confidence. And you hear that from his teammates. You hear that from Jamar. You hear that from Zac Taylor. I mean, everyone you talk to just like really instantly believes in this guy. And now the city does too. And what's not to believe in other than what a moment he created for Bengals fans who were out, right? And he pulls you back in. He pulls you back in.
And it was funny too because Chase Brown Chase Brown and T. Higgins both were really commending him on the broken play. They were in the wrong formation, and he never runs. And for him to run, and now they got the first down on that play, and then they went 3 and out after that. So it wasn't a big play in the grand scheme of things, but it did take an extra probably 90 seconds off the clock by getting that extra first down. And Chase Brown was just shaking his head saying, he's been in the NFL for 18 years. He's like, that's longer than I've been playing football my entire life, going all the way back to Pee Wee. I haven't played football for 18 years. He's been in the NFL doing this. And I think that confidence, it's not just seeing him do it on the field, but just his presence in the huddle, in practice and all that. And it's rare for, I'm sure when he got here, they wanted to believe, but it takes some time to build that trust and that proof. And he's done it really, really fast.
All right, a bunch of other aspects of this game and the fallout that I want to get to. First, I want to say thank you to everybody that came down to our live show at BetMGM in Tom's Watch Bar. It was super fun tonight. Like, it was such a fun show. We gave away tickets to who the oldest person in the building was at 5:15. And the over-under, I don't know if it was the over-under. Some people thought it would be somebody older, 72. born in 1953, is going to get to go to the Bengals Jets Ring of Honor game. But we played 80s trivia from 1983 to 1985. People from Icy Hot hit me up in the afternoon and they sent a bunch of product down. We were giving out Icy Hot to everyone. People really liked they wanted the Icy Hot. I was surprised at that. The prize wheel was spinning. We had white Growl Pal shirts and hoodies and you name it, man. It was Werther's. We had 3 people who were battling at the end who thought they had a chance to win the tickets as the oldest person in the room. What I noticed was how much all 3 were loving the Werthers when they came up. It was great. It was just such an awesome environment. I really appreciate everybody that came down because we really had a ton of fun. So thanks to everybody that came down to the live show today.
You want to thank them. They should be thanking you. Paul's parlay boost hit for the second time in a row. It was boosted from 500 to 825. That's like a 62% boost, and it hit. It was the Bengals had to win the game outright. The total had to go over 43.5, and Joe Flacco had to throw for over 200 yards. It all hit. So anybody that listened to Paul and hit that and took a chance on that parlay boost, you cashed in big time.
And if you got the extra bet MGM free 50 or 100 and you did a 50 or 100 on that, You're feeling great about life right now. Oh, you're welcome. The other boosts that they had tonight hit too. They had T. Higgins touchdown. They had 2 Flacco touchdowns and Bengals covering 5.5. They boosted that baby up for you. Got a hit there. Everybody coming on the show. That's 2 straight parlay boosts that are they're exclusive to our live show. 2 in a row have hit. So, hey, feeling good. My gift to you guys. Next one, we will be doing a bi-week 1 p.m. window watch along with people that want to come down in their awesome VIP room. We're going to do a special just hangout session. We're still going to give away tickets. We're still going to do boosts, but it's going to be just for select invites only. If you want to come, if that sounds like something you'd want to do, is watch the 1 o'clock window with me, with Jay and Mark, and hang out. We'll give away tickets and just kick it back there. Their VIP room is spectacular. Big TVs everywhere, all that going on. Email us, thegrowlerpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if you want to come, how many people would want to be in your party, and we're going to get as many people in there as we can. So hit us up if you want a part of that. All right, topic 2 here tonight, Jay. Let's talk about the return of hope. They were cooked, as people who listen to the Walkout know, and that team was cooked. This is not that team. It did not have Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco has entered the equation and changed the entire dynamic. But now, we talked about this in the lead up to this, it's such a pivot point it brings everything back to reality. Otherwise, Pittsburgh was about to go bye-bye. And now you're 3-4. Pittsburgh's 4-2. You're one game behind them in the win column. You've probably already heard this because we did the fake walkout in the lead up to this where we talked about this. But now you're one game behind them in the win column. Pittsburgh's schedule the next 3 weeks. Packers, Colts, Chargers. Bengals now with 10 days off, more time for Joe Flacco to get to know everybody. You got to beat the winless Jets and play the Bears both at home. And then you get a bye week, and then you go back to Pittsburgh. Jay, there's a chance, maybe a better than 50% chance, the Bengals and Steelers, the next time they meet, could be playing for first place in the AFC North, which is bananas to sit here and say. But I think after tonight and some of the momentum and the belief that Joe Flacco has brought, it's hard not to feel that way.
Yeah, and it's not that far off. You mentioned Pittsburgh's next 3 games. Well, that it's those 3, Packers, Colts, Chargers, then Bengals. It's a month from now that could happen, and it does. It would have sounded crazy even just coming home from Green Bay, but tonight changed everything, and we knew it could. It's not just the math, it's the hope, it's the belief, it's seeing the vision, and the promise of what could be even better. It's crazy to think, but this offense can get better once these guys get more comfortable with each other. It's remarkable. I can't remember a season shifting win in a long time like this one.
Yeah, I'll say this. One thing that Jamar said was this is what it was supposed to look like. They basically lit 3 games on fire with the Jake Browning disaster. Whatever reason for Jake, it didn't work right. It obviously was the pieces were here to work, and Joe has been able to turn the key on that. So yeah, you put yourself behind the 8 ball, you kill all this confidence, but I got to credit them. They have hung with it. They've kept belief. They've kept a good attitude and confidence, and were able to come out here and get this win. The defense is still a mess. So, yeah. I mean, there's a good chance that we're sitting here talking about that Freiermuth play as one of the most ridiculous defensive gaffes that we've seen from this team in a long time. I mean, just ugly on every level. We'd be talking about 8.6 seconds on Rodgers' first touchdown pass. We'd be talking about, the ridiculous play on 3rd and 18 from the 19 where he's able to drop a ball right in for a touchdown that should never be able to be completing, reminiscent of the right before the half in Denver. We'd be talking about all the missed tackles, everyone missing tackles tonight. Dimitri Snipe missing another pile of tackles. Geno Stone, everybody kind of played a role. There's a long way to go there. They can get maybe Trey Hendrickson back to help them. They're just, without him, it's apparent how bad the pass rush is. I feel like while the offense has taken this massive leap forward, it seems like pretty clearly the last 2 weeks we've seen this defense take 2 pretty big steps back.
Yeah, even the opening drive, they get Pittsburgh in an immediate 3rd and 11, and you're thinking, okay, you're going to finally get off the field and not give up an opening drive touchdown. And Aaron Rodgers hits a big completion, first down, and they go in and they score a touchdown. And the lack of the pass rush has been an issue all year. When they did get close, they would just overrun him. There was just no I don't think they ever came close to even getting a hand on Aaron Rodgers, and they were back there a few times, not a lot, but they did have some shots, and he's sitting there faking out Shamar Stewart, who is literally half his age. And I just don't understand it. And Barrett Carter, I thought, played pretty well. He had a lot of tackles. I don't remember him missing any, but there were so many I could have missed 1 or 2 myself. But DJ Turner, again, the one bright spot. That interception, that could go down as one of the plays of the year. If this does go the direction we think it has a chance to go, that was super impressive. But the rest of the defense and Cam Taylor-Britt getting benched tonight, I thought Fig played pretty well in his spot. But there's a lot for Al to clean up, and you get a little break. I don't think the Jets and the Bears are necessarily going to scare anybody offensively, but they've got to get that figured out. They have to, again, just try to be top 20 in the league in defense, and they're not even there yet.
Yeah, the concern for me with that is that the idea was, they might be rough early, but you'll see gradual improvement and they'll get better. And you hope by the time you get to the halfway point of the season that you'll feel like they're a group that's starting to grow into their own a little bit, and you'll see that development. And outside of DJ Turner and Dax Hill, I guess, you're just not. And you're seeing regression, and you're seeing the grasping at straws with the, inactive for Cam Taylor-Britt, the benching of Logan Wilson, and like just looking for anything and anybody to try to make it look better. And it's kind of looked worse. So that's the thing. It just feels like I was fine with them not being great in the first half of the season, but you felt like this would be the moment where you'd start to feel like it was trending up, and it's not trending up. They're not going to be able to win 33-31 every week. You can't expect to win 33-31 every week. I don't know, maybe you can with the Flacco miracle workers, but I mean, it's not realistic. And so there's a ceiling on this team right now. And the only way they can remove the ceiling is by this defense somehow getting better. The offense has righted its ship. The defense has to be next, or none of this will really matter. All right, before we get in to wrap up a few milestones and some things like that, I do want to give a shout out to our guy, Eric Stanio at Keller Williams. They have another house sale to a Growl Pal, to Will and Heather, another who came over from being Growl Pals, working with our guy Stanio, who is just the best. So awesome. Here, so many of these sales keep happening because you guys are seeing how great it is to work with Eric. He's got over 100 5-star Google reviews. He's in the top 1% of Keller Williams realtors in the entire Ohio Valley region. He's currently 12th out of 4,212 agents. We're trying to get that up into the top 10. We're working on that top 10, 2 Growl Pals at a time. It's just the best. Make sure you're subscribed to his YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Team Stanyo, SZTANYO. He's got all the information on markets, neighborhoods, trends, houses that are out there, everything you could possibly want on that YouTube page. Make sure you check that out right after you get done finishing watching us here on the Walkout. If you want to connect with him, go to www.teamstanyo.com or just hit him up at info@teamstanyo.com. All right. Joseph Toyota, drive of the game time. How can it be anything other than the final drive, Jay?
Yeah.
8 plays, 52 yards, 3 first downs, never in doubt. There's a couple of aspects of this drive that I like. It just started so quickly and easily. Oh, look, there's Jamar Chase wide open on and out. I mean, game-winning drive attempt, and there's no one within 10 yards of Jamar Chase. I don't know how that happens. The Bengals are just happy that it did, but off they go. They get into a spot, and man, there were 2 games I had flashbacks to on that drive. At first, I had a flashback to Baltimore of last year when they're sitting up there around that 35-yard line. You get a run. It's like, oh, no, don't get conservative and settle for the 50-yarder, right? You can't do that. Zac Taylor said they learned. We'll talk about it after the game. So we learned from that situation a lot. We talked about that. Like, we study that one all the time where you want to run clock, you want to run the ball, but you want to stay aggressive. So what can you do? And then Flacco delivers the perfect ball to T. Higgins. He gets down. He slides down. That was the play call in the huddle, was for if anybody pops one, to slide down. What I love, Flacco talked about that pass. He said they'd been kind of playing the back shoulders all game. And so he decided to kind of lead him more out so he could curl out around that coverage. And he sort of did it on the throw and dropped it right in there. 18 years of experience right there on that as T runs right under it at the right time. And instead of going in the end zone, remembers to get down. A gorgeous play. The second game that I was reminded of on that play after that was last year's Week 17 Denver game when they were trying to get the clock right. Did they knee it? Did they run it? Remember last year they tried to run a play and Chase Brown got hurt and it had to cost them a timeout. This time it was knees in the middle. They got it down to whatever it was, 10 seconds. And Evan kicks the 35-yard field goal. Masterfully executed. We have ripped this team at times for not being good enough in some of these situations at the end of games and not handling it the right way. This one, they handled it ideally tonight.
You know, you talked about learning. They learned something from last year. It was October 13th last year, so it was 3 days away from the 1 year anniversary. It was the game at the Giants. Chase Brown scored. Should have gone down. Zac said that was on him. He should have communicated that into the huddle to let anybody know if they popped one to go down. That game worked out. They still won that game, but they learned from it. He got the call into the huddle to let anybody know if you bust one, go down at the 5. They did it. I wish we could give them true serum because maybe that would have been their plan in any kind of game. But if it's not a game where the defense is just getting torched, do you go ahead and have T score there? Do you go ahead and get that touchdown? They knew they could not give the ball back to Pittsburgh the way that defense was playing. And then you're still holding your breath. They had 7 seconds and they still got in position for an Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary, he's done that many times. It's still, even after that field goal by Evan, it wasn't over. But I thought that was interesting. I even asked Chase Brown about that. Was that game going through your mind from last year? And he said, actually, it was. And as soon as they heard the call in the huddle, everybody knew to get down. A lot of people were saying what a great play it was by T, and it was. But it was a directive from the huddle, from the sideline.
Yes. Well executed and a great piece of work there at the end of the game. Let's get to a few updates. No major injuries from this one. We had some guys that had cramps. DJ Turner went out briefly and came back. Same Demetrius Knight went out briefly with cramps, came back. Really, to me, the news was the milestones tonight. Jamar Chase had a number of them. He joins Jerry Rice and Randy Moss as one of only 3 players with 6,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in their first 5 seasons. Jerry Rice and Randy Moss. Yeah. When that's the list, that's pretty good company.
He shrugged it off in the post-game press. He's like, I would never know about that stuff until you guys told me, but it is. It's elite company. And he's top 3 in all 3 cat. Now I know he's got an extra game on everybody else, but as bad as this offense has been for a while, he is still right back there in the mix for possibly another Triple Crown run.
Man, think about that. Unbelievable. All right. And again, we see this is now the latest primetime game where the underdog wins. Mm-hmm. This is the latest Pittsburgh loss on a Thursday. This is the latest AFC North Thursday game. The Bengals had been begging to get more of these. I think you felt that tonight. Like, this is why those short weeks, it's hard for teams to summon energy, especially you get in these division games. It's just hard. And the home crowd gives energy. And once they got through those first 2 drives tonight where they started with punts and they looked awful, to be honest, early in this game, falling behind 10-0. Once they cracked into that second quarter, man, this place came alive. And I tweeted this during the game. The entire white Bengal thing, from the uniforms to the stadium to the whiteout, is just the coolest thing that they do by a country mile. Yep. It is an awesome atmosphere. It's the best thing they do. At night, it looks incredible, and it created a memorable night and a memorable atmosphere here tonight. And you felt that, like you felt the energy of the crowd. We heard people chanting "Houday" on the way down the steps after the game, and it's been a while since we've heard something other than rumbling and boos going down those steps. So an interesting change of pace here tonight. Next game, 2 more back-to-back home games before the bye. 1 o'clock, Bengals Jets Ring of Honor game. Dave Lapham, Lamar Parrish are going in. So we do not have a live show before that game, just so you know. We're not doing a live show down at BetMGM, but that game is at 1 o'clock, the Ring of Honor game on the 26th. And then they have the Bears the next Sunday at 1 o'clock after that, and then the bye. So that is the current path ahead. the Jets do not have a win. The Bengals will hope to keep this momentum going with Joe Flacco and get the ship back to 500. Can't say I thought that was going to be the case when we were declaring them cooked in Denver, but Joe Flacco has risen.
The savior.
The savior is here. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening and for watching. We'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.